right. We are live with another episode of the Thumb Strong podcast. To get it right this week.
There you go.
Today, I'm excited because we've got special guest Leroy on here. He's been a member of ours for 1 year now, in 4 days, right?
Yes.
And so we want to kind of dive into his fitness journey with us, but also he's the owner of Great Lakes Counseling and Wellness Center here in Sandusky. So we want to go into some of the services that you offer there and how they might be able to benefit anyone along their fitness journey, but also just in general health.
Sure.
So start off with just a little bit of background on you, your role as the owner, and then we can kind of dive into your fitness journey first.
Sure. So, my background is I've done tons of different things throughout my life. But currently my wife and I own Great Lakes Counseling and Wellness Center. I also have a small construction business on the side. I do fire and water mold restoration type stuff. So I keep active. Health is important there, from dealing with mold and those types of things. And I find that our wellness business does really good for all sorts of things. But particularly from starting my fitness journey a year ago, I was over 240 pounds and up and down in weight my entire life. And I was about to turn 49, and I was like, okay, it's time to, stop doing the yo-yo and let's be serious and figure something out. So my New Year's resolution last year was I made 2024 the year of health for myself. And so it was early February. You came in to our office and was like, hey, I hear you guys have a sauna. I was thinking about putting one in. Can we see what you guys have and everything? And we had just opened in December. And so we took you for a tour, and you and I talked for a little bit, and we're like, hey, maybe we can collaborate on something. And so you offered to have me come in and do your 6-week challenge. And I said, okay, yes, I needed that push or whatever it was. And so we came in, and my wife and I came in together and met with Bethany. And like I said, it was like the 16th of February. We did our first weigh-in and everything, and started classes right away. It was great. It was exactly what I needed. You guys met us where we were at. You didn't be like, okay, hey, this is what we expect out of you. It was, what are your goals? What do you want to do? And stuff. And so I really liked that. Didn't feel judged about what my goals were. Like, oh, you're never going to get there. Because honestly, I came in, my goal was I want a 6-pack by the time I'm 50. And in the back of my head, like, I knew that meant all this other stuff about me was going to be healthy and everything. But it was like, I've lived my entire life and never had that. And it was like, why not? It was like, there's nothing stopping me other than me from doing that. So you guys said, okay, great. Well, this is what we're going to do, and so we bought into it. And, even though like last year I was sick for about 5 months, I had surgery and all that other stuff. And so it set me back. But I've been working with Lauren, and I'm like, I'm not going to make it by the time I'm 50, but I'm not going to stop.
Yeah. And you're that much closer.
And I'm that much closer. I'm halfway there, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll just keep going. And, the goal just gets moved down the line. But the great thing is in doing all that, I'm off of some blood pressure medicine. I have so much more energy. I just feel better, and everything in life is just much easier from doing that. So I've been grateful to you and to everybody here, just, hey, come in, do this. Even after my surgery, you reached out to me, you're like, hey, I heard that you were thinking about coming back. We're going to do this small group thing. You want to join? Like, yes, thank you. I needed that push again, to get back in here. And that's been great ever since. And, Lauren and I text all the time and stuff. And, so it's been great. So again, I appreciate everybody here for
That's awesome.
for meeting us and,
Yeah.
and helping us do what we want to do. So
Yeah.
One thing you've been good at for sure is setting goals, and upon setting goals, it's also important, and you're good at it, is appreciating the journey along the way, the ups and the downs, which we do have, right?
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
yeah,
It's inevitable, but just staying consistent, and even though you didn't necessarily hit your total end goal, and I don't even want to give it that name, but your goal by 50, right?
Yep.
You still were appreciative of the progress that you did make in that amount of time.
And that's
It's
hard
pretty incredible.
hard for clients to focus on, because we talk about it a lot. Like, a lot of people get so fixated on a specific goal that they can kind of get blinded by all the other benefits that are happening.
Yeah.
They don't focus on those. They just focus on. So it's really cool that you recognize that and you realize, oh, I feel way better. I've got more energy. You're getting stronger. Then you set new goals of like being able to lift, like 1,000-pound club is one of
Yep.
your goals, I think.
Yep.
So yeah, that's really cool to see someone focusing on other goals other than just that initial thing that they had set when they started.
Yeah.
You mentioned before you got started, you were kind of yo-yoing, and you would hit a point where you probably just realized, I got to do something. This is my year of health. What were some of the main challenges that you faced before you started?
Well, I mean, energy, sex drive. What else? There's just not wanting to do
There's
anything.
lack of motivation.
Lack of motivation.
Mental health probably as part of it.
Declining health. The blood pressure kept going higher. The cholesterol was getting worse. My kids are all in their almost 20, 19, 20 years old. And it's like, they're going to have grandkids one of these days.
Yep.
And, am I going to be here? Number one, my family has a history of heart problems, heart attacks and stuff. My dad had a heart attack when he was 42, and stuff. So, those are all things that are in the back of my head of, okay, I've gotten lucky so far. And, just in the back of my head, it was like, okay, 50 is just this magic number of, if I don't do something by then, I understood that it gets harder and harder every single year, and, I was at pretty much my heaviest weight. And, it was just like, okay, it's got to change, and, so it did. And like I said, I'm so much happier now. I had somebody who was talking to a client the other day, and he's like, yeah, you just seem like, you're full of energy and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's not who I was a year ago, and stuff. And I was like, it's amazing how just a few small changes, really, when I look back at it, it makes such a huge difference as long as you commit to those small changes and stuff. So
Yep. I'm glad you said that, because we talk about simple, small changes all the time. And then you also mentioned, you weren't the same person you were a year ago, which when you first start your fitness journey, a year seems like a long time to commit to.
Oh, yeah.
But when you think about how long maybe you were out of in the rut or not where you wanted to be, it probably was very short in comparison. How long were you struggling with those things before you started?
Absolutely. I mean, I know when my wife and I met, so it would have been about 13 years ago. I was working construction full time. I was in decent condition and stuff. I still ate horribly, but I couldn't gain weight at that point in time, because I was just working so much and stuff. And so I've done nothing but go downhill since then, because my job changed.
It's kind of like a slow decline since
and everything else. And it was like, okay, 55 pounds later, this is enough. I wasn't quite recognizing me anymore, and it's like, okay, it just has to change.
That's powerful, because people might not realize, it might take 10 or 12 years, but if you put on 5 pounds a year, which might not seem like a whole lot, all of a sudden 10 years later, you're like, holy cow, I put on 55 pounds.
Right.
I need to do something about it. So it's usually a gradual,
Exactly.
And then I always tell people, it's like, hey, listen, if it took you 10, 15, 20 years to get out of shape, you can't expect to get in shape in 30 days.
Right.
It's going to take some time. But we always say, I think people overestimate what they can do in 30 to 60 days, but they underestimate what they can do in a year to 2 years.
Yep. I completely agree with that. It's I can say that I felt way better 30 days later.
Yeah.
Because I had made all the changes. I had changed the diet. I was eating very clean. I was going to McDonald's 3 times a day and getting 4 large Cokes a day from McDonald's because I'd get 2 of them the first time I went. So that's what I was feeding my body with. And as soon as we changed it, I went cold turkey. Don't necessarily recommend to everybody, but I was just so determined. I was like, I'm going to do this and do it right. And so I was very strict for about those first 6 weeks and stuff. And after that, I was like, okay, this has got to be real life, and you guys talk all the time about the 80-20 rule and stuff. And so I keep that in the back of my head. Like every time I want something that I shouldn't have, I'm like, no, it's okay. Because I did most of my stuff the right way this week, so I can have that slice of pizza.
Mindset, and that's where people go wrong is they try to go all in, 100%, and then if they do slip up and have something enjoyable, they just beat themselves up and they're like, "Well, I'm done because I ate McDonald's or I had ice cream or whatever." And that's so healthy to allow yourself still to have those things, just in moderation. And it's not your overall diet anymore. It's good.
Did you have a healthy mindset back, or that driven discipline when you were swimming?
No,
I was curious about that.
Not from a diet perspective.
Yeah.
When I was swimming in high school and the first years of college, I was working out a lot, and kind of forced to. College swimming was twice a day, 10,000 yards a day of swimming and stuff. So it's nearly impossible to gain weight when you're
I think
swimming
Michael
that
Phelps
much.
was eating like 10,000 calories a day.
Yeah,
or something.
something crazy.
Yeah, and I wasn't working out near as much as he was,
right.
but it was still, it was a lot. And even in high school, it was during swim season, it was like, I would slim down and stuff, but I didn't understand lifting and working out. It was spend the 5 or 6 hours a week in the swimming pool. And I was pretty good at swimming, but I didn't understand what the benefits of lifting would have been for me. And if I could ever go back in time and talk to myself, that's where I would meet myself and say, hey, hit the gym, hit the weight room, put on 20 pounds of muscle, because you can do it a lot easier now that you're 18 and 17 than waiting until you're my age at 50 and putting on 3 pounds of muscle over the first year, or whatever. Although the scan yesterday was wrong, but whatever it was. So so that's what I would encourage anytime I encounter a younger person and stuff. I say, look, do it now, because it is so much harder when you're older. And just do those little things as you can and stuff, because you'll think your older self will thank yourself. I try to get the same advice with money. Like, put a little bit away now, because when you're 50, which it seems forever for you, but it isn't. Then you'll be happy when you look at your bank account. And stuff. So so little sacrifices when you're younger make a huge difference when you're older.
With that being said, how long do you think it took before it really started to become more of a habit and just kind of like a more routine for you?
Honestly, probably after about the 6 weeks.
Okay.
6 to 8 weeks, it was, if I don't go to the gym, I don't feel right.
That's awesome.
And so when I then got sick and had surgery and couldn't really come in for like 5 months, that was hard. I thankfully had already changed on my diet structure, so I was able to maintain, and actually I think I even lost some weight during that time that I was off, but I know I lost a bunch of muscle during that time frame as well. But it's because I didn't get heavy again and out of shape again when coming back in. Was relatively simple. I mean, the first day I almost passed out because it was leg day, first day I came back. So that was interesting. But, I was like, but I needed it. It felt good, even
Yeah.
though it was
Hard,
strenuous and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I actually I enjoy that now.
Mhm.
Not quite masochism, but it's like I enjoy the hard workouts and
Yeah.
and pushing myself. Even yesterday, DeLorean, we were doing bench press, and he's like, "Are you sure you want to add fives?" Because it was like the last set. I was like, "Well, yeah." I said, "Well, worst case scenario is I only get 4.5, or whatever." And so I put him up. And he goes, "Yeah, I was doubting that you could do that, but I'm glad you got it, and stuff." And I understand, because he looks at, well, what was your previous max and what percentage
Yeah.
are you doing? Like, you probably shouldn't be
I was like,
able
"Are
to
you
do
sure?"
that,
It's like, well, we
Yeah.
can see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like to push those things. Like, I'd rather be sore than not. So that's just my mindset.
As long as
I
it's
guess.
the last set, that's what I
Yeah.
tell everybody in
Yeah.
the fit camp.
Yeah.
I say, hey, you don't want to be failing the second set. 'Cause
Right.
You got 2 more to go.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
the fact that you're not afraid of failure
Yeah.
either is a
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah.
It's okay to fail sometimes.
I know
Right.
that day you're talking about too. It was lunges that first day back.
Yeah.
It was
Oh yeah,
lunges.
those
Worst.
that's
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
lunges.
And
Yeah,
Why would you
But-
do that?
that was one of your weak spots.
it still is. Yeah.
But I don't know. You were kind of crushing them the other day. So
Yeah.
you were doing weighted lunges. I mean, you were struggling with body weight. Now you're doing weighted. So
Yeah, that is true.
yeah.
And I enjoy it. I love seeing the progress.
Yeah.
So I like pushing those numbers. I like when we do max day
Yeah.
and stuff, because it's like, okay, yeah, this is what it's. And to me, it's like, okay, I'm pushing myself now. I can see, yes, I am further along than I was a month ago or a year ago, and
Is
6
what we're
months
doing
ago,
working.
and stuff. So I do enjoy that. So.
What have you noticed as far as the mental health side of it, with obviously, counseling being part of the Great Lakes Wellness,
Right.
like for diet and for exercise too?
So for me personally, it was a huge difference. And I can say, like, just like thinking is clear. I do have ADD. I do take medicine for my ADD, but I can still even tell a difference after working out. It's just the mind is clearer. I'm very in tune with my body now. And so I really feel the connection between my mind and my body after doing some of this stuff. So that's nice. I can feel when I'm stressed, like jumping into a workout takes care of it most of the time and stuff. And so for me personally, there's definitely a huge connection. I did ask my wife, Jody, about it, because she's the mental health therapist and expert. And she said that she finds that high stress and high anxiety leads to body pain. And so it's all connected. Our minds and our bodies are completely connected. And when we're feeling depressed, our bodies don't feel as good, right? And we can manufacture sickness in ourselves through stress. I mean, they say stress is the number one killer, because stress is usually the leading cause of heart disease. It's usually the leading cause of of issues in our body. And so finding ways to take care of those things, now they can be different with everybody, but if you learn to take care of your body, it will help the stress on the mind. And vice versa, if you can learn how to talk to somebody and relieve whatever those stresses and anxieties are, it will help get rid of some of the pain as well. And so doing talk therapy and having somebody that you trust to help you through some of those things will help your body feel better. And then maybe you feel like working out now, because we'll hear that a lot. Oh, I just don't feel like going to the gym. And I don't feel like doing that. So, well, you'll feel a whole lot better if you go.
Yeah.
But you can also go, well, hey, let's work on why you don't feel good. So maybe now you will go as well. So I really think that what you guys do and what we do can completely go back and forth in that stuff. And then, to tie in the wellness center of what we do. So Jody's vision when we started it was Great Lakes Counseling and Wellness Center. It took us 5 years to go from just doing counseling to having a wellness center, but it was the vision from the beginning. And so we had a massage chair, which Jody and I have had massages for years. We know how beneficial and great they are, but there are certain people who don't want to be touched by a human being and stuff of that sort, and those are people that Jody deals with. So we're like, well, a high-end quality massage chair would be really good for these people, so let's help them get rid of their stress and everything and their anxiety about being touched by somebody by let's have a massage chair for them. And so that was our first piece of equipment. And then after that, we got everything else. But it's, we have a salt cave, which is great for relieving stress. It's just a very relaxing environment. Breathing in salt air is like going to the beach. So, you kind of you get that feeling in your body, and everybody feels good at the beach. But it's the surroundings, but it's also because you're breathing in the salt air. It's good for you. It cleans out your lungs, so you breathe better, you get better oxygen to your body and stuff. And so there's tons of benefits to that. Right now, everybody's sick. I was sick last week, right? And I had influenza A, and I had this big old, like, my chest hurt. So I went, sat in the salt cave very first day, and it's very convenient for me, right? So I went, sat in there, and was able to get rid of a lot of phlegm. And like, I actually felt pretty decent all week long. I knew I was contagious. I know I shouldn't go anywhere and be around people and stuff, but I actually felt decent. Where in the past, like, that would have turned into pneumonia for me, and I would have been out for a month, and so that was a huge deal, for me to be able to use. But it's great that we have that available for people. And we get people all the time, oh, I can't come in because we're sick. I'm like, well, hey, we have a salt cave.
Yeah.
If you can
my
come
mom's
in.
come and done it a handful of times.
Yeah.
I think it was right at the end of her sickness, just because she was still really congested.
Mhm.
And they were getting ready to go to Florida, and she's like, I want to get rid of this.
Right.
So I think she came in 2 or 3 times, and she loves the salt cave.
Yes,
She
she comes
raves
and
about
uses that a lot in the red light therapy. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
in
she
the
was
red
just
light.
telling me, I saw her yesterday or a couple days ago, I was in working out. She was like, oh, I felt so good being able to go there, and and she got rid of the crud that was going on and stuff. And so I love that we have those things available. We've got that goes with healing and stuff. A lot of our stuff is healing, is great for recovery. Honestly, one of the reasons I was able to do what I was able to do over the last year is because of all the recovery methods and stuff that we have in office there. Because I'm 49. I was super out of shape. I hadn't done anything real active for a long time and stuff. And I had some confidence coming into here because it's like, well, I know I've got the things to help, and so, we have cryotherapy, which helps with aches and pains and, sprained ankles and bruises and stuff of that sort, where, it's like, oh, my elbow hurts, my shoulder hurts, and we can hit that and get rid of the swelling in there almost immediately.
So what exactly, just so they know, like, what exactly is the cryotherapy?
Sure.
And how does it?
Yeah, so cryotherapy is we use a contraption. It's kind of like a wand, where it takes CO2, liquid CO2. It comes out about a negative 110 degrees, and we'll pinpoint a spot that hurts on the body. And so it's like super icing, right? Usually when you ice something, it's got to cold the skin down, then the muscle, and then maybe if you can handle it long enough, you'll get the cold down to the tendons and stuff, right? To actually get those to unswell. This, I can do that in 30 seconds. It penetrates straight through, it hits all the way down to the tendon and everything. And so it gets rid of that swelling very quickly. And then because we froze, basically feels like we froze that spot down deep, even though you don't really feel it on your skin.
Right.
It causes the body to say, hey, there's a problem there. And so the body then wants to heat that up. So all of our healing factors are in our blood. So the body is putting extra blood to that spot to heat it back up. So then it starts to actually heal it as well, instead of just treating the symptoms of inflammation. It starts to heal the tear or whatever happened in those things and stuff. So that's what the cryotherapy does. Very pinpointed, relief for those spots. And then we almost always do that in conjunction with red light therapy. So red light therapy, we basically have you lay down in a massage bed, and we have 2 long lights that go over top of your body. They come down, and it's um, medical grade red light therapy. There is a difference, do the research. And so it penetrates deep. It goes up to 5 inches deep into a person's body. So it will heal those spots as well. So we've already called attention to it from the cryotherapy. The red light therapy picks up on that as well. And the red light therapy kind of heals you from a cellular level inside out. And so it's great for muscle recovery and all those types of things. But it also works with chronic diseases and MS and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and people who are doing chemotherapy and things like that. They can come in. It gives a energy boost. So it helps feel better after the letdown from chemo and stuff like that. And dialysis, all those things. So it's an energy boost. It is true healing. It is like I said, it's cellular rebuild. We find that people come in, they use that, and the next day they're like, "Wow, I feel so much better. Wow, I have full movement in my shoulder again." And things like that, And the more often you do it, then it's longer lasting. You'll do it once, you'll feel better, and then a few days later, like, we'll come in again. Let's do this multiple times in a row, and then it takes over. And so it's great. And we have that. We've got, like I said, massage chair. We have an infrared sauna with lots of different settings to it. It does muscle recovery, anti-aging, detoxification. There's a cardio setting. If you can't get out and run, you want to just get your heart rate up for a little bit, you can sit in there and I didn't believe it. I went in, I've got a nice little watch, and I sat there, and my heart rate was like 105, sitting there sweating, and stuff. And I'm like, really? Is that real? And stuff. And, so it's kind of cool from that standpoint. Obviously, you're not getting the muscle workout and all the extra benefits of actual running and stuff of that sort. But hey, if you can't do those things, then you can sit in the sauna and get and replicate it a little bit, and you get the muscle recovery from it as well because you're heated up. And
that's what I've noticed the
stuff.
most.
So,
like recovery is better, and I always sleep incredible after I've done a sauna, like every time.
Yeah.
Which obviously we all know sleep is crucial to recovery, mental health, stress, all that stuff. So,
absolutely. And that's great. The red light therapy is great for sleep patterns. And then our amethyst biomat, which is an infrared heating pad with a layer of amethyst crystal in it, is phenomenal for sleep patterns. It is great for arthritis. Like those are the 2 biggest things that it does. It's got all the other, it helps with muscle recovery and all types of stuff because it's a heating pad and it's infrared. But those are the 2 big things that it does. And so we've got people who come in and pay us to take naps. They really do. Because like I fall asleep in 5 minutes on the thing.
Wow.
And
is
then they sleep
that like
better
a grounding mat, or is that something different?
Nope, it's not a grounding mat. It's an infrared heating pad with the layer of amethyst crystal. It is all that it is. But it is, like I said, it does phenomenal at those things. And I'll say I was probably the biggest skeptic of most of this stuff when we got it in, and as I've used it, I'm like, oh yeah, it works great. And every single person who has walked into our place and has used it is like, wow, yes, I feel so much better. I didn't think I would, and yeah, it definitely helps. And so we encourage everybody to come out, take a tour, look at stuff, I often let people try things out when they come and take a tour. So, come in and see us. So happy to do that.
There's white light too, right?
Yes. So we do have white light therapy. That's very specifically for seasonal depression. So this time of year, that's great. Okay. You basically just come in and sit down in front of the light and read a book. And stuff. You just have to make sure your eyes are open so that the white light comes across your pupils.
So it kind of like simulates like sunshine.
Yeah. Yep. It simulates sunshine. Exactly. Okay. But none of the harmful rays of sunshine and stuff. So you just sit there and it boosts your the feelings and your anxiety and depression, all those things. It makes everything nicer and better.
Yeah.
And that also helps with sleeping as well.
Yeah.
So if you do that earlier in the day, it wakes you up, and then you're usually able to sleep better that night. So
Helps fix your circadian rhythm.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so lots of the stuff that we have help with that, which again is muscle recovery and stuff and working out. I mean, it's so important, like you said, to be able to sleep and get quality sleep. That we find it half of our stuff does that.
Yeah.
So.
My favorite combination was the cryo, let it cool while I sit in the massage chair and hop in the red light. That was awesome.
Yep.
I love that.
That's a very common thing we do. You do have to wait 20 minutes between cryotherapy and red light therapy. So the cryotherapy does everything it's supposed to do. So yeah, we should throw somebody in the massage chair. Or we have a lot of people now that are sitting in the salt cave for 20 minutes, especially this time of year
Right.
and
Yeah.
stuff. So
I did that for my sinus infection too, and that worked.
Yeah, you should come see me more.
It is like, it is kind of like, wow, it doesn't, it's like I'm just sitting there, breathing in air, breathing in salt. It's like, it doesn't seem,
Like it would do that.
Yeah. you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it's like,
it doesn't seem like it should do much.
Yeah.
But it does.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know why it works, but it does.
Yeah.
Have you looked into grounding? There's they have grounding sheets, grounding mats, different things like that now.
Yep. So that is not our next piece of equipment, but it is on the list. We're actually looking at vibroacoustic therapy next. So it's a bed that does more vibrations and stuff of that sort. So it's not quite grounded. I believe you can add a grounding element to it, where you could put a grounding mat on top of it and do both at the same time. So that may be something we look at, but it is definitely something that we've started doing research on and stuff as something that we can offer.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think you answered most of all the questions in here.
Yeah, I think so. Just
Yeah.
talking. Yeah.
The only thing that I was going to ask is, and this might be between you and Jody, I don't know if you have any simple tips for people at home just to start relieving some stress management. Is there anything simple that people could just do that without having to do some of these other things?
Sure. I mean, you can always, and I asked Jody about this. Now that's my papers at home with all of her answers on it. So let me see if she doesn't respond to my question yet. So she is helping people right now. One of the biggest things is she said being mindful. So stress, anxiety, and those types of things are usually a result of worrying about things in the future, or worrying about things that haven't happened yet.
Yeah.
And so she said the biggest thing you can do is be mindful of where you're at right now and what you're doing right now, and enjoy the moment or live in the moment.
Yeah.
That is a big way to just get rid of stress. You can move, really just get up
Move your body. Yeah.
and move your body and just do something.
Yeah.
Going for a walk, all those types of things. Again, you guys talk about it often, but it releases natural endorphins, which then make you feel better. And so that's why for me it's coming to the gym, and getting all of that out and doing that. But not everybody can make it in here. I mean, a lot of people don't like going out in this weather and stuff.
Yeah.
Walk around your house, unload no dishwasher. Do one of those things that's making you worried, like I can't handle the mess and stuff. You hear that a lot. And it's like, okay, well, just do one little thing.
Yeah.
Take a small step. You don't have to worry about, I got to clean the entire house, and that's a stressor. It's like, well, hey, just pick one spot, and see how that goes. And then a lot of times that might lead into doing more because, hey, I'm feeling better. Hey, I'm getting stuff done. I'm moving. I'm doing, and it's like, then all of a sudden at the end of the day, it's all done. You ain't got to worry about it anymore.
I noticed that personally. I'll get into a really good flow state, like when I start picking up or cleaning something, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're cleaning everything, and you're just in a flow state, and you're kind of going without even really thinking about it. Next thing you know, you've done everything you wanted to do and you feel accomplished, you feel way better,
Yeah.
you know.
It's off your plate.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Like I'll literally see something out of place in the gym and I'll go put it back there. I'm like, oh, what else can I find? And then next thing I know, I'm going all over the place. And then I'm like, oh, well, you need to do better at cleaning this. And we've talked recently. I'm like, we really got to start hitting all these things again a little bit harder, just because more people and the time of year we're bringing in salt and snow and all that stuff. It's like, so you just pick up on those things. But it's just funny how you can get into a nice little flow state doing certain things.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's the biggest things. And then have an inner circle or somebody that you can talk to, whether it's, sometimes you need professional help and, call a therapist and, and find someone that you can gel with that you feel comfortable talking to. And if you don't need a professional help, have good friends or, at least that person that you can just unload on and they just listen. Right. And they don't try to say, no, well, I don't know about that. It's like sometimes you just need somebody to listen to what you got going on and stuff. And so those are a lot of times the beneficial things, the easy, quick ways of getting rid of stress and some anxieties.
What are your thoughts? And I don't know if you know too much about it, but we've talked about third space and social connection. So a lot of times people just work home.
Right.
And both of those places, you have responsibilities. You have a lot of things that you need to do and take care of, which stresses people out. And so having some sort of outlet or third space is really good for relieving stress. Just kind of separating from the busyness of life.
Absolutely.
So we talk about the gym not only being your fitness, place where you're getting stronger and getting healthier, but it's also a very good place. We notice a lot of people love to socialize and they build relationships. And so people hang out after their session and chat. So on the topic of socializing and having somebody to talk to, have you noticed any of that in your last year here as far as the social connections too?
I am somebody that I take a really long time to warm up to talking to people. So I'm not necessarily the best person other than I talk a lot with you and with DeLauren, and I don't mind talking to Bethany because I've known her long enough now and stuff. But DeLauren and I just chat, and it's enjoyable. We talk about what he's doing, before work and after work and outside of work, and we talk about what I'm doing and stuff. But when I've come to classes and stuff that Bethany leads, and you see it, like all of those ladies and even some of the men, there's 10, 15 people. They're just gabbing beforehand,
too much
gabbing
sometimes
during it, or afterwards, and hey, we should go here and we should go. So it's like it becomes a family. It's a great group of people. My wife is much more personable and talkative and meets people and stuff. And she, I think she's already, comes and talks with people and gets to know them and stuff of that sort. It's just who she is and stuff. But it's very, very welcoming. And honestly, that's one of the great things about what you guys do here as well, is like you accept everybody no matter where they're at. Doesn't matter what their fitness is or anything else, that everybody is welcoming at those classes. Bethany's mom is there to greet everybody.
That's right.
I was just thinking about that.
Immediately. So it's great. It's just a very nice environment. You don't come in and you don't feel intimidated, in those classes. Like you come in, work out, like, oh, hey, do you know what you're doing? Do you know how to do this? The people in the class will help you. Bethany will help you. It really is just great. I've gone, 30 plus years now. I've been going, starting at gyms and quitting gyms, and I've worked at fitness centers and stuff from a swimming standpoint and stuff, and so I've been in lots of places, and this place is by far the most welcoming and I would say doing it right gym that I've ever seen. And I think that's a testament to you and to the group of people that you hired to be here. You guys rub off on all the people that come here, and so you just see it everywhere. You guys created the right environment, that people want to come to.
Yeah.
So
That's definitely been our goal. I really appreciate that too.
Yeah, that's cool to hear.
Yeah, that's good to hear, because number one barrier is people are afraid, they're intimidated, they're nervous, they have anxiety about coming to a place like this. I think there's a preconceived, expectation of going to the gym and seeing a bunch of bodybuilders and people that are going to yell at you and judge you and stuff when it's
Yeah.
not like that at all.
Oh yeah.
And we try to do the polar opposite. I praise anybody that will walk through the door, no matter what their fitness level is or what they look like. If they walk through the door to improve themselves, I'm proud of them and I'm happy to help them. So I'm glad that you said that. I know before we get into the last couple questions, Caitlin had a question about the services
This wasn't
there.
on your sheet, so if you're
Okay.
not prepared for it,
If it's about my services, I'm prepared. I can
Well,
answer those.
since I've heard about you, I've either been pregnant or nursing or pregnant again, and
Okay.
so I haven't
Congratulations.
come in. Thank you. So I haven't come in because I'm like, I don't know what's safe. And I was talking to some of my friends yesterday who are also pregnant or nursing, and they've been interested too, but are like, we don't know what's safe and not safe to do there during those
So
times.
I would have to look to be sure,
Yeah.
but I am pretty sure that everything is safe.
Okay.
Salt Cave, 100% for sure.
That's
No
the
problem.
one I was kind of most
yeah.
curious about.
That wouldn't be an
I
issue at all.
figured this. I don't think the sauna, because your body temperature would get too high. That might not be.
So the great thing about the infrared sauna is we can control the temperature.
Okay.
So the highest it goes is 167.
Mhm.
Okay. Most of the programs run at about 130. And then I think we can turn things down to about 120 or so. So I don't know exactly.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly what it
either.
is. Like I know that like hot tubs are wrong,
Right.
but it's a different type of heat
Right.
in a hot tub and stuff. So I can definitely
But
look
the
to
salt
tell you
cave
that
would be okay.
salt cave, no problem.
Cryo, obviously. 'Cause
Cryo,
that's
no
directed
issue.
to a certain area.
Red light therapy would be fine.
Okay.
The biomat would be fine. Our biomat uses infrared. It doesn't use like ultrasonic waves and stuff of that sort. So so the biomat is most likely fine as well. But I will look as soon as I get home. I've got a list of contraindications for each thing, and I can tell you.
Yeah, because
So.
I've been interested, and I know I need to just go up there and ask, but I just haven't.
Yeah, I will look that up when I
So-
get to the office, and then I'll put it in the bottom of the live chat and say, this is safe for pregnancy, this is safe for pregnancy.
that'd be awesome.
This one says ask your doctor.
Okay.
Now, it's probably all of them are going to say that, but
Yeah,
they will
yeah.
say in general, this one
Yeah.
and this one, this one is safe. So
Yeah.
I'll let you know that.
Cool. Thanks.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Where can people learn more about your services? Get a hold of you, that kind of thing. If you just
Sure.
want to share your contact and
Absolutely.
address, stuff like that.
So we're located behind Benchwarmers on Woodland Avenue. So it's 432 Woodland. It's next to the dining room. There's 4 little businesses back there. So we're back there. We got a big sign on our building.
Yep.
So you can stop in anytime between 10 and 6. Monday through Friday we're there. Tuesday and Thursday I'm there till 7. So either I'm there or Amy is there. We can give you a tour. We can answer most of your questions or find out the answers to your questions while you're there. Our website is greatlakescwc.com. It's got all of the services listed on there, so you can kind of read a little more in depth about each of those. We do have an app, which is Great Lakes CWC as well. You can get on the app, you can sign a waiver, you can schedule all your classes and all the services that you want to do. You can do that from there. You can just call me, which is 810-878-5050. Again, we're there most of the day, so we'll happily have you come in, take a tour. You can just stop in. We'll give you a tour. Some of the stuff's going to be used, so you may not see everything, but we can at least talk about it and show it to you. We've got all sorts of pamphlets and stuff in the front of in the lobby that explains each of the machines and what they can do and everything as well. So.
Perfect. Awesome. Sweet. What's kind of next for you on your fitness journey? What's kind of like the next goal for you?
So for my fitness journey is to continue. towards the aesthetic that I'm looking for, because I know I'm not going to hit it in 3 months. So I will continue on that. And really just, I want to continue to build muscle. I want to continue to get stronger. Like you had mentioned earlier, I started looking at the weights I was doing. I was like, I'm not that far from the 1,000-pound club. So I got to add 250 pounds or something of that sort to things. I'm like, well, that's probably an achievable goal. So let's work towards that. That kind of works towards the things I'm doing coming to the gym anyways.
Yep.
I know that I definitely want to get off all of my medicines if it's at all possible. So I think when I finally hit close to my goal weight and the correct, body fat percentages and stuff that sort, that I will start talking to my doctor about getting off of those things and stuff. So I'm excited about that. I'm hoping that most of these happen within the next year or two, and stuff. So that's kind of my journey. It's, continue to come here. I try to get in 4 days a week. Some days it happens, some weeks it happens, some weeks it doesn't. I'm coming in twice a week with DeLauren, and then I try to get in and do a class or two with Bethany on occasion. And if I can't, I try to get in here, at least do 15, 20 minutes. I'll hit one body part, hit a few sets, and I'm out the door, so it's not something where like I have to set aside an hour to come to the gym and stuff. I really enjoy 15-minute, 20-minute things. Like I'll show up and do all my stuff, and I'll see somebody still on the same machine, as when I got there, and they're probably like, well, he wasn't here very long, but I'm like, oh, I'm tired. So that muscle is sore. So I'm out of here today, tomorrow will be a different muscle.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's really probably my thing. My eating is very natural now, so
Good.
I don't really worry about what I eat and stuff that sort. Other than I make sure that I'm in my calories and I'm eating my protein and stuff that sort. But so I don't feel like that's a conscious thing that I have to constantly
Just
try to
become
work
habit.
on. It's just habit.
Normal now.
And stuff.
That's good.
And so
It's really good.
so the next steps is really continuation, working towards that, those next goals and stuff. And then, we'll see what happens after that. I started swimming, again, a few weeks ago. Actually only got in once, but I'm trying to get in there once a week, and start swimming again. And so, I started thinking that master swim meets and stuff that sort, they hold across the state and then, across the country. Like that seems like fun to me, at this age. It's like, well, hey, let's see where we're at, and having something to compete for is always nice. I have a competitive background of in sports and stuff, and so it's like, let's fire those juices back up and see what happens. So yeah,
Well, it's cool that you're at a point where that you're motivated to do those things again. That's really cool. So.
Yes, because if you had told me a year ago, hey, let's go swim a Masters meet, I've been like, what?
Right. Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I could do 2 laps in the pool right now. You want me to do what? Die before the end. End of it.
Yeah.
But no.
That aligns with our last week's topic of just being able to do the activities you want to do and functional and So that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last question for you, and then we'll hop off, is what would you say to somebody that has maybe thought about coming here but is on the fence? They're nervous about it. What words of advice would you give them?
Take the step. You're going to be, your future self is going to be so happy that you finally took that first step. I think most people say, geez, I wish I would have done it earlier. Right? So do it today. Make the step today. The worst case scenario is you hate it and you go find something else. But I don't think you're going to. Right. I think after you get in here, you're going to be like, oh, okay, no, these people care. This place cares. I'm not self-conscious. I can do this, and they're going to help me do this. And so that would just be my encouragement. Is just step in here today and don't wait.
Awesome. Perfect. Any other questions, guys? Is that good?
Yeah, it was very good.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Go and check out their services. Like he said, just stop in, at least see what they have to offer. See how it might be able to help you if you've got something going on, whether it's an injury, whether you have stress going on, maybe it's a sickness you're trying to get over. They can help with a lot of that stuff. So until next time, stay healthy and have an awesome day.